Time for a viewer requested video that I'm going to shake a stick at. How about connecting with your higher self? Now, the term higher self gets thrown around quite a bit in like new age, in the new age scene, and people are always focusing on that, on the idea of your higher self being the person that you truly are on the inside, that is not influenced by all of these other factors. And the angle that I'm going to take this at is more on the psychological side of things and how we can kind of use magic to access that, the idea of your higher self, by the utilization of magic to break down the barriers between you and it. So let's go into the notes that I have, and then we'll generate kind of a discussion point on there. You guys can always put comments down below that I will of course respond to, and if there's enough subject matter that I'm able to expand on, then I could make a part 2 for this. So let's see. So we're going to start off with a quote from Jung, right? The self might equally be called the God within us, which is rather interesting. So yeah, this is a lot of, there's going to be a lot of like my own conjecture with this. So people are going to have a lot of different opinions on it. And of course, you guys can share yours, and maybe that would generate further discussion and maybe another video. One of my cats running around down here. Let's see. So don't get caught up in the idea that it's a separate being or something distant, because it isn't. It's within you. It's connected to you, right? It's the person that you are beyond your traumas and negativity, bad thoughts, and other things that hold you back. Ask yourself who you are behind your fears. Do activities like tarot cards and work off the interpretation of your own mind rather than the tarot rather than the descriptions and the ideas that go with whatever tarot deck it is. So the idea is, if you have tarot cards and you like to use them, or even if you don't, give them a try. And if you're asking questions about yourself, your past, your future, what have you, don't necessarily just do a card spread and then read the description in the book, right? About this card means this and this card means that. Take a look at the pictures, look at the symbolism. What do the different symbols in the art of the cards, what do those actually mean to you? Because what we're trying to do is bypass the gatekeeper, let's say, between the conscious and subconscious mind, because really your higher self is the unification of your conscious and subconscious mind. It's more of a self-actualization type of deal that we're going with, from the angle that I'm taking the idea of connecting with your higher self. So this idea of working with symbolism and things like that, you can also not only do tarot, but also do art, do meditation where you ask yourself questions, contemplative meditation on an issue. That I think I've spoken about this before, but in contemplative meditation, what you can do is not just breathe and focus on your breathing and let all the thoughts flow out of your mind and stuff. That's all well and good, and that's great for when you're starting with meditation and such, but do contemplative meditation. So if you have an issue or something going on that you want to explore and go deeper, or something that like, oh, why do I always act this way? Or I wonder what I really feel about this, or I feel like this part of my life or this part of my past or what have you is affecting me. So you meditate and think about it. You ask yourself a question, get an answer. Ask yourself a deeper question, get another answer. Why? Answer. Why? Answer. Why? Answer. Go deeper and see what comes out. One thing that might be helpful that you can review over time is either journaling about your experiences with meditation such as this, or even doing recordings, things like that. So another idea of connecting with your higher self is to track your thoughts. I mentioned journaling, but I'm going to mention journaling here again. Question yourself, track your reactions, listen to your inner voice and your gut on things. So that's one thing that I feel like a lot of us kind of ignore is when we are in a situation we may have an idea that pops in our heads, but then we logically think about it and we take the other direction. Our instinct, let's say, or our impulse wants us to go down road A, whereas when we think about it, road B. Well, why did we have that thought to go down road A? We need to explore those things because those inclinations and ideas and pushes and drives are coming from somewhere. And if we kind of deny that, then we are denying a part of ourselves that is trying to express itself, and we need to explore this. So, in Magick, what we are trying to do, ultimately, I think the goal of all magicians really should be the self actualization, being able to balance and come into a full understanding of you as a person. Because, like, all the conscious energy and things that I'm generating right now, that's causing me to come up with these ideas, and even when I made this script and read off of the script and stuff, that is one part of me. But my unconscious drives, which is why I'm kind of taking pauses to listen to that and see where I can go off of with these notes that I made, is the other part. So I'm trying to balance both because that would be me fully expressing my ideas and thoughts as much as possible. Because with Magick, what we are trying to do is utilize all of our energy in a focused manner towards a specific goal. And if I ignore part of what my energy is trying to do, then I am running on like half a gas tank. Let's go back to the notes before my rant gets way too far off topic. So, the higher self can be seen as the aspects of yourself that are both present and hidden, conscious and unconscious in harmony. I think I just paraphrased that basically. So, connecting with your higher self, right? Write down your goals and what you want. Everybody has goals. I don't care how good your life is or whatever. You should always want to improve. That's one thing. You always got to look ahead. Don't ever get comfortable with where you are and what you are doing, because you're going to drive yourself towards growth, right? And if you are trying to self-actualize, which would be connecting with your higher self, because everybody has crap that's holding them back. Connecting with your higher self is working on that junk that is holding you back so you can get better at your whole life as a whole. So write down all of anything positive about yourself, anything negative about yourself. Choose a negative thing and work on it. Like for me right now, it could be my sleep habits. It could be my eating habits. It could be certain aspects of my job, like work, or it could be certain aspects about making YouTube videos, or even writing on books. Like I'm actually working on a fiction story right now, and I'm trying to write every single day, but it's not exactly happening because I have some blockages that are going on, so I'm attempting to work on those. That's what I'm choosing to work on. I could be focusing on other work stuff, or maybe even a little bit more or not more, but in a different way on YouTube videos, but I'm focusing on one issue at a time. And one thing at a time is the best way to tackle stuff, because otherwise you're spreading your information or your energy way too far out, and if you focus on way too many things, you're a jack of all trades, and that's more quantity, not quality. Let's see. Talked about that part. And oh yeah, all this is called like self-stalking, when you write down your own behaviors and things and be really observant about that and be really honest about your own positives and negatives and stuff. That's called self-stalking, which is a very, very pertinent thing in shamanic practices. And let's see, next part. So meditate. Oh, I already said this. Meditate, think about an issue. When you get an answer, keep asking why to go deeper. This will really help to flesh things out. Don't accept your brain's first answer, because your subconscious has a gatekeeper, right? Because it's trying to protect itself. That's mainly what the brain does. Ask yourself a question, get an answer. Ask another question, go deeper. You're trying to pry open. It's like an onion, onions of layers. You're trying to peel these things back to see what your subconscious, the hidden parts of you, your higher self, is saying to you, right? This might feel uncomfortable for some, especially extroverts, but spend more time alone. You know, everybody should be comfortable with spending time alone. You will get to know yourself a bit better if you spend more time alone talking to yourself, which is not crazy. Have a staff meeting up here, right? Talk back and forth, even out loud, things like that. You're trying to get yourself to know yourself with questions and answers and journaling and things like that. There's a big theme here of just fleshing things out with different activities. Let's see. Be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. Brainstorm with yourself on issues. I think I covered that a little bit. Explore things like Maslow's hierarchy of needs and where you lack things in the hierarchy as they hold you back from self-actualization. So if you haven't heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you can Google it. And, it's hard to find a royalty-free image for that, but it's basically a pyramid where you have several different layers of needs that basically the things on the bottom need to be worked at first, and it's a pyramid. So once you're good with the stuff at the bottom, then you can go up a level, then up a level, then up a level, then up a level. So the baseline is your like physical safety, like a shelter, right? And the top is self-actualization. So we're talking about having a roof over your head. We're talking about having connections with others, having a means of expressing yourself in terms of productivity, among other things. I can't exactly remember the terms off the top of my head, but the bottom line is once you get the bottom levels correct or fulfilled, then you don't have any blockages from improving yourself as a whole, right? Let's see. So archetype-wise, the self is the center of your personality, which is comprised of your consciousness, unconscious, and the ego. So yourself is the center and the circumference, according to Jung, of who you are, right? So it's kind of the assemblage point, if you've ever heard of that in shamanism, because it's where we look at the world from, but how we interpret the world and look at the world and react to the world is conscious and the majority-wise unconscious. So you need to find activities to flesh out that unconscious stuff to make it more conscious. And we connect with our higher self and we self-actualize and we reach that self-improvement level on Maslow's hierarchy of needs when we are able to understand what our conscious is doing and our subconscious is doing. So once you balance out those two parts of you, then that is when you are connecting with your higher self and truly improving as a whole. Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.